All right, bone stock CTS-V, stock exhaust manifolds, has a roto fab, so I guess it's not bone stock, but all it has is a roto fab on it. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking 580.
580. I'm gonna go 565.
Stay close, stay close.
553.
There it is, 560.
560. All right, so we got the race car loaded up. They're headed out. Looks like Matt's jumping back onto this CTS-V. Already got the blower out. I think it just came back. I think Bill just put it in that room up front.
Only place I'm trying to jump is the fucking bed.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's been a tiring 2 days.
Yeah, you've been busting your ass on that thing. This thing getting a crazy build or just something?
Nah, it's just getting a cam, I think.
Cam, ported blower.
Yeah, cam, blower, headers, I'm sure.
Nice. Take the weight off. And she's out. Good old LT4. Matt's getting this short block all buttoned up back together. Already has the cam in for this CTS-V. I think he's doing the valve springs right now. And this thing will be chopping here very, very soon. One hit.
One of these days he's gonna hit a bag.
Almost about ready to drop this thing back in.
Yeah.
And then she's pretty much wrapped up, right? I think that's all it's getting. Besides the porta blower.
The header's on it, blower on it.
All the usual stuff. Need a hand? Looks like Matt's getting ready to finish the CTS-V up. You swapped this motor, or you put this motor in quick as hell, dude. I turned around, the blower's on, everything was already done.
That's one nice thing about pulling the motors. I pretty much can get them assembled outside the car, and then once it's bolted back in, it's just buttoning up.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You were flying on that one.
That's why, for a while, I was pulling the motors out of every car, because
especially on an LT or whatever.
yeah, LTs. I mean, I just think it's easier.
So what's all left for this thing except for?
I gotta put the American Racing, finish up the X pipe, put that on. Put the rotor fab on. I'm waiting for replacing this pulley because when I was getting everything cleaned up, the coating just was flaking off of it. So I'm waiting. That should be coming FedEx overnight.
Nice. And Fran already flashed it, right?
I don't think he flashed it.
Okay.
He got the file out of it, but I don't think he flashed it yet.
Should be ready for a first start up here soon. Oh, Matt's got this exhaust already finished. Looking good. Right into this stock muffler. Definitely gonna sound better though. Almost ready to fire her up.
In there.
There she goes.
All right, 2018 CTS-V. Came from Jupiter, Florida. 21,000 miles, baseline 555 and 586, I believe it was stock. At this point in the video, you guys already know if it was or not. I just don't pay attention. Sometimes I see in the comments like, how don't you know? Like, bro, there's fucking 40 cars in here. I can't remember them all. I just get this sheet, and then that's one I know. Got a full stage 3 package, RCAM package, ATI 917 lower balancer, 2-inch American Racing headers. I guess it already had a rotofab and a tune and something else. We did a Kong export, 2.5 upper pulley. We did a trans flush with updated fluid, and provided transportation. Nick Williams 103. I made some pulls on this last night because I went to the track yesterday, and this is leaving today, so I needed to just make sure it was good last night. And so I got it close. I made some pulls on it, got it fairly dialed in, not a ton, but just wanted to make sure it was all good. It made 687, 651 torque on 14.8 pounds. So I'm gonna I don't really have much timing in it yet. The fuel pump was, I don't necessarily want to say struggling, but with these V's, it seems like the fuel pumps are hit or miss. Some cars will make, you know, 680-ish to the tire, like perfectly fine on the stock fuel pump, and then others won't even make remotely close to that, and the fuel pressure is dropping. This pressure does drop in this, but it's not at a level to where it like is like crucial or like it's lean or anything yet. Like air fuel is still good. So, and I've even tried, you know, I know people are like, well, you can turn the fuel pump up in the tune. Yeah, I tried that. And I do that, if needed. If it has a low side, I generally just leave the pump stock, but that's it. So I'm gonna flash it now. I'm adding a little bit of timing from what it was last night, and we'll see what she makes. I don't think it can probably make some more power, but I don't think the fuel pump's gonna be able to handle a ton more. I think we can make 700. I think maybe we can even make a little more than that, but I won't leave it at that. Just because there's a lot of things that, like, I don't want to say like anything like this to sound cocky. I say it from experience. Some people will tune these things, and like on the dyno, like a cold fuel pump and like a cold car, like it might handle the power. But what a lot of people don't understand is, like, when you're driving this thing for an hour and the fuel pump is hot or burning up, obviously, because it's been running for so long, they don't provide the same pressure. Especially when the fuel is cold, when it's cooling the pump as it's going through it, like right now, because it's been sitting all night. They're a lot different cold than they are warm. And it's like, so if you get this thing on the dyno and let it cool down, you're like, yeah, fuel pump's good, like, and then you go out and drive it for an hour and pressure is now 15 pounds less than it was before, that can hurt things. So I don't tune them to be able to do that. I want this thing to be reliable no matter how hot it is. And so I'll only put enough power in it to safely do that. To me, it's obviously not worth hurting something over, in reality, however much horsepower. But in this case, probably like maybe 15 or 20, but we'll see. But still, it's not that big of a deal. 15-20 horsepower, you're not going to feel it. And if you are that concerned about 15 or 20 horsepower, then you need 100 more horsepower, because then you won't care about the 15. That's the way I look at it. But this is a solid first little round of mods for this guy. It's basically like my car with a cam. I have, you know, an export and headers and rotofab and all that stuff. And mine made 680. So this thing will probably make 50 more than mine. Fuel pump depending. And we'll see what it does. Made 687 last night when it was a little on the, not warmer side, but I made like 5 or 6 pulls. So my guess is cold, and I added a degree of time, and this thing should make over 700, maybe 710 plus. But so I won't wait to find out. .17, 687 torque. Let's see how fuel pressure is. Drops down to 41. And it was like, when I had it at last night, it was dropping to like just under 50, like 48, 49, somewhere in there. Air fuel's still perfect though. High side is still good, which generally is a good indication of where you can tell about like a fuel situation. You know, on the LT cars, you have a high side and a low side. If your low side's not good, your high side is also going to rise because it doesn't have the pressure it needs to supply the high side. High side is still exactly where I have it commanded right now, which is good because when low side drops, high side will also drop big time. You'll notice high side more than you will low side. So
the thing where you fill the coolant for the blower, looks like the cap's off, and it's like starting to ooze out from the fitting.
okay. Hey Matt. But I may put more timing in this.
It could just be residual, I don't know, but it was dripping out when you were flowing.
Yeah, it shouldn't do that. I may put more timing in this just to see where I can get it to and see what the fuel system and everything is doing, and then I'll back it back down to a safe level. So we'll be right back. Okay. I added like a degree of timing pretty much across the board, so it should pick up power and torque. .32, 682, and it did. It's still liking it. Thing's loud.
It's very loud up there. Good. It sounds good.
I'm gonna do another degree across the board, see what it does. Let's see if she picks up any more. It's obviously getting warmer now because I made pulls, but AIT2s actually aren't bad. 91 right now. 695, 693. I'm gonna do some trans in this thing, and then I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna do a final pull. So let's do that now. I'm gonna do some trans in this thing, and then we'll let it cool down. It's on a stock tire, so it's not gonna hold a 3.45. So I'll just do a 4.5. I set up auto upshift and everything, so we'll see how that works. Should shift right around 7,000. We'll find out though. Might need to lower it. Jesus Christ. Did it break?
Yeah, they're just, I don't know why they're so loose. They weren't like that on the last one.
Well, it popped.
Did it?
Yeah, that's when it did that. It came loose. It wasn't loose.
They're both on there.
Holy fuck. Okay. Let's try a 4.5. Shifted a little high, almost 7,100, 7,080. It shifted mint though. I'm gonna lower it some though.
That was weird, man.
Yeah, I heard it pop. That's how I knew it, like it came loose. $68.80 is where it shifted at. Perfect. I'm gonna let this thing cool down and then it's done. And I'm gonna pull some power out of it, even though it seems to be okay right now, but I'll maybe pull like 1.5 degrees out of it, so it might drop at like 10 to 12 horsepower. So, but whatever, I'll leave it in here. The cold pull, and we'll be back. All right, not a crazy cool down, like 20 minutes or so. See what she's got. Oh, almost 750. 749.8. And 688 torque. 15 pounds. This thing basically picked up 200 horsepower because it baseline like 555 or something. Pretty killer of a gain on straight 93 octane. Basically a cam, ported blower, headers, and a pulley. He should definitely be happy with that. I know I would be. My V could use 70 more horsepower, just like this one. He should be happy. We gotta wash this thing, and then transport's coming. Ship it back. Like and subscribe. Later. All right, taking this V out before transportation comes and gets it. This thing runs good. It's got a stock tire on it, so it's not really going to do much, but I always drive them just to make sure there are no quirks. This guy had us do a trans flush, and I'm guessing because I can, on the dyno at least, I could feel, this is obviously after we did the flush, I think I know the reason why he asked us to do that. Like, obviously the 8 speeds have a common issue to where like they shudder, like in converter or whatever, and you change and put the new updated fluid in it, and majority of the time it fixes the issue. Majority of the time it fixes the issue. And I could feel it on the dyno, but granted we had just changed it, so it didn't really have any drive time on it. So I'm taking it out on the street now, and I don't necessarily feel it as bad now as I did on the dyno, but I guess from my understanding is like it's the clutches inside the converter like sticking, and the new fluid is supposed to help that. So it will probably take a little time to clear up without obviously doing like, you know, a new converter and fluid, because then whatever. So it'll probably take a little time, but it feels okay so far. This thing, I don't think I'll be able to do anything wide open throttle in it because it's got a stock tire. I mean, I'll see. I'm in third gear, but my guess is it's not gonna do the best. I mean, it had traction control twice. It's a nice little auto upshift, and fourth gear got a little squirrely, but it was controllable squirrely. Traction control on, all that shit. Auto upshift is like the nicest thing if you plan on like racing this car, and even if you don't really. I mean, I generally try to do it to most cars. It depends on the customer. Some customers you can just tell like really won't be racing it. Others you do. I mean, it also depends. Certain cars are easier to set up than others. So on the easier ones, I'll generally always do it. It also depends on what kind of wheel and tire setup they have on it. Sometimes I need to adjust, you know, where it's shifting at and where it's set to shift at. But this thing driving pretty much like stock. It's making me maybe want to cam in my V, but my race car takes up all my damn money and time, because I don't really ever even drive my V that much because I don't really have a lot of time. When I do, it's basically just with my daughter. We go somewhere. She likes going to get ice cream in it. And the ice cream store we go to is like, I want to say it's a mile from my house, but it might be not even a mile from my house. So I don't drive it very far when we do drive it, but I do like driving it. V3s are still great. V2s can be nice, but they're getting to the point to where it's 50-50. Some of them you get them and they're like just junk and have 100,000 miles on it, and then every once in a while you get a V2 and it's like really nice. So, but I guess that all depends on price. If you're buying a $20,000 CTS-V or you're buying a $40,000 CTS-V, V2 I'm talking about. And then these are obviously significantly more than that. These are still in between like 50 and 80, depending on miles, color, options, etc. a lot of people, when they look at like V3s, they're like, oh look, that one's only like 55 grand or whatever. A big thing you have to look at is options on these. Was the sticker price 80 grand on it, or was the sticker price 105,000 on it? And that's what you have to look at. Like my V has literally, I think every single option. There might be like one option it doesn't have, but pretty much every option. Sticker price was like 105,000. And a lot of people when they see V's think they're cheap because they look at other ones and they're like 80 grand. They look at other ones and they're 50 grand. But depends what options it has. Like carbon package is 6,500. Vacaros, I think, are 2,500. PDR is 2,600. The rear entertainment, like, there's a lot of things that you have to look at when you're buying one. And at least I look at a lot of things as like resale value, even though if I don't even necessarily plan on selling it. Like when I bought my V, I wanted a Vector blue one, which obviously is a rare color, and they made 49 of, I think, or 51. I think 51 of them. But I just think, hey, if I ever go to sell this thing, what's someone going to want? And for a rare car like that with a super rare color, they're going to want every option on it. So it took me a while to find it. Thankfully, I found one in New Jersey. It was literally like 45 minutes away. And dude's super cool that I bought it from him. Literally, I still talk to him all the time. So, and that's one of the things you have to look at. I mean, if you don't necessarily care and you just want to buy a V and get one cheap, then you can buy one for $55,000. A lot of people don't care about the PDR or the rear entertainment, you know, or sunroof. Like, I don't necessarily care about those things, certain things either, but I just like my cars to have all the options like that, because whenever I go to sell them, they generally will sell the fastest and bring the highest resale value. So it's just one of those things to look at when you're buying a car. I know a lot of people just look at like the car and not the global aspect of it, but I do that with everything I buy. Like my trailers and stuff like that, like I always like them nicely optioned, because whatever I generally want or like in whatever I'm buying, other people will do the same, and they're willing to pay for that if it has a lot of the things, because it's harder to find when you have certain things like that. So other than that, this thing is ready to go. It's got like a quarter tank of gas in it, so we're going to put a couple gallons in it for the customer. That way he can just go out and enjoy it when he gets the car back and not have to go put gas in it right away. Other than that, this thing's done. Subscribe. Love you guys. Later.